It's more than obvious that Will and Jada Pinkett Smith relationship is far from your average couple. Even for Hollywood standards, they are quite bizarre. But there are so many behavioral clues that makes you wonder, is Jada controlling or manipulating Will emotionally? And that's what you're about to find out. Welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and it would be great if you join us by just liking this video, subscribing, and hitting that bell. Let's get down to it. You might be already aware that Jada issued some kind of answer to that slap incident at the Academy Awards with a post on her Instagram. It says, "This is a season for healing and I'm here for it." Yeah, no captions and comments closed. I'm sure you feel something off about this message, and it has a lot to do with your natural alarms that come off when you sense that something's not right. Let's see if you can figure it out, and I'm gonna give you the answer later in this video. When people talk about Will and Jada's relationship, there's always a word that repeats over and over again: narcissism. Either Jada is a narcissist that controls Will, or he is a grandiose narcissist in a codependent relationship. But even if we cannot diagnose them directly, we can spot patterns that actually happen in narcissistic relationships. And this is a delicate topic because a lot of people has had to deal with a narcissist at some point of their lives, and if it's a relationship, it's even more devastating. But everything goes back to 2020 when the scandal of the entanglement broke out. I made a video back then and everyone noticed how Will was affected when talking about Jada's relationship with August Alsina. Yeah, in his own words, he wanted to express that this was not a big deal and they were stronger than that. But there was one sentence from Jada that you just couldn't miss.
I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good.
Yeah, she was basically trying to defend her cheating, saying that she just wanted to feel good. And at the moment, there was no official statement that they had an open relationship. That would be more than 1 year later when Will came forward and finally confirmed it. Now, it's not the fact that everyone was gossiping about that, and we really should not care if they have an open relationship. I mean, it's their life together and nobody should tell them how to live it. They are grown-ups, right? But we've got questions. Why, talking about this entanglement, if it was consensual, why did Will have that face? I mean, there are men that really like their wives going full anaconda adventure, as in, well, I love my wife, so I let her do whatever she wants to do. And this deserves our Spanish word of the day, cornudo. But you want to say it like a poet. You want to say it like Jorge Luis Borges. You say it this way. Sos un cornudo. Yeah, just like that, because there's no other way to call him. And everyone that saw that Red Table Talk video noticed that Jada was really trying to bend the narrative to paint herself as the victim. And that's one of the things that narcissists do. No matter what happens, they will go to great lengths to prove by any means possible that they are the victims of whatever happened. And it's baffling to see that Will sat down with her to supposedly talk frankly about these matters, and the whole video we saw a man helping his wife wash her face at the expense of his own image. That's something that victims of narcissistic abuse do. Even in public, they are going to defend their narcissistic partner to the point of becoming aggressive. And that's why what happened at the Academy Awards is so concerning, because it also fits in the description of a person that really needs help. This is not normal. This is a matter of mental health. And I also made a video about that, and the most important takeaway is that a sane person doesn't have that brutal change in behavior. In seconds, from diplomatically laughing at a lame joke to going full slap contest on Chris Rock. And you know what? Narcissists love that. They love to use gaslighting and other manipulation tactics to drive people to do this kind of outbursts. And they enjoy every second of that because that's something that they caused. They use their emotional control on their partner and manage to make them snap. It's not comforting at all that one ad-lib line on Will's Oscar acceptance speech was, "You gotta be able to take abuse." And he was not talking about his character, Richard Williams, because he was very specific, in this business. Now, that sentence, "you gotta be able to take abuse," that's plain wrong. That absolutely sounds like a victim of abuse that is referring to that mistreatment as a badge of courage, like something that one should be proud of. And no, nobody should be able to take abuse. That is a very telling slip. And it's hard to believe that he's talking about the acting industry because he's an A-lister. Everybody loves you, Will. Just stay away from M. Night Shyamalan, please. But back to that sudden change in behavior after Jada rolled her eyes. Victims of narcissistic abuse enter a stage where they feel like they have to constantly prove themselves, that they have to earn the scraps of love they get. Because they never know when the abuser is going to give them the silent treatment for the slightest offense, or use guilt tripping, or make them feel miserable in any way. So the victim learns to avoid those situations, proving their worth. It's that famous, if you really love me, you will do this for me, or you will let me do whatever I want, you will let me enjoy my life, or if you love me, then prove it, because I don't believe you. All those are gaslighting sentences, and no, they don't work overnight, because the narcissist slowly erodes the victim's will, pun intended, until they enter that stage of emotional slavery. But it's so hard to understand why Jada had this reaction if barely days before Oscars night, she uploaded a video to her TikTok where she said explicitly, "This bald head of mine, I love it."
I don't give two craps what people feel about this bald head of mine, because guess what? I love it.
Again, I am not condoning jokes based on health struggles. That's really bad taste, and it's reported that Rock was not aware of her condition. But I really doubt that he didn't know, but either way, jokes directed at physical appearance shall also be a double no. By the way, don't you feel odd that on Oscars night, Jada updated her Instagram with fingers crossed, but all the photos from that update were just her? Like, Will was nowhere to be found. Don't you think that defeats the purpose of the fingers crossed caption? Yeah, well, you know how it is. A narcissist needs all the attention on themselves. And that's one of the reasons why you found that first Instagram update so unsettling, because the most relevant reference is to herself. It's not like we all need to heal or something like that. It's the I'm here that rings really self-centered because again, there is no reference to Will or their relationship. Now, we cannot discard facts such as Will memoirs, where he expresses his feelings when Jada was with Tupac Shakur. I hated that I wasn't what he was in the world, and I suffered a raging jealousy. I wanted Jada to look at me like dad. And it's well known that Will has an obsessive work ethic, that whatever he decides to do, he gives 200%, obsessively driven. So it will not be surprising that he's like that on his marriage too. It's a bit sad that they ended that Red Table Talk video with the words, "We ride together, we die together, bad marriage forever." I mean, that's a very bad joke in itself, and I don't think anyone that has a healthy relationship would joke about having a toxic one or a bad marriage and look proud of it. One thing is being human and make mistakes like everyone else, but other, totally different, is glorifying something that is just not working. It's like trying to win the approval of the audience, even if inside they feel that this is just not it. And boy, it shows. I really want to know what do you think about this in the comments. If you want to refine your observation skills, all you have to do is download my 100 body language tips right in the description of this video. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas and it will always be a pleasure, my body language buddies. Much love and bliss.